Well, it's another happy day. Happy day for us to be here with another episode of Teague's Take. I'm out here live at the Landon Street and Tap House at 600 Court Road in Plano, Texas. Man, it's an awesome place to be. There's a lot going on out here tonight. The Texas Rangers are playing. My glasses, my eyesight isn't that good, so I can't tell if they're winning or not. But you guys probably know if you're watching this live and watching that game too. Um, so a lot of action going on in here tonight. But the real action is what we got going on with Teague's Take today. Before we get going on that, I do need to let you guys know, man, I got some merch out on millions.co. Make sure that you guys get there if you're looking for any kind of jerseys or signed cards that just went live today. Make sure if you're listening to the recorded episode of this, find our YouTube page, give us a subscribe and a like. We would appreciate that. Very much because on Fridays and Mondays we do drop some other uh, videos where JT and I are breaking down plays. So you want to hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you know exactly when they drop. If you're a Cowboys fan, you want to hear some other talk, check me out on DallasCowboys.com. Go ahead and search Cowboys Flashback. It's live on Monday nights typically. It's really the day after when they play on Valley Southwest, but you can see the replays on DallasCowboys.com. And if you're in Mobile or down south in the area on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock p.m., I am on WNSP 105.5 with Corey LeBounty and Nick Wiggins talking Alabama and Cowboys stuff or whatever's hot topic is going around in the sports world. So uh, thank you guys for all the support that you give us, Teague's Take, JT and I. Means a lot to us. So we want to get in this thing because we got to talk about some Alabama football, what happened with Arkansas, are we happy with the win, that kind of thing. And we got a very special guest. But before to bring guests in, let me go ahead and bring JT in, the co-host, the analytical one, the one that
Happy Tennessee Hate Week.
Yeah, happy Tennessee Hate Week, man. I already got my cigar picked out for the win. Although I'm a little nervous, we'll get into that maybe a tad bit on how we're feeling about this game, and is this something that we really need to be concerned about. Um, but man, JT, how's your week been, brother? I mean, you know,
Hectic, but good week of practice, I thought, this week for the JP2 Cardinals. So I'm hopeful, optimistic, and finally I feel like we're starting to hit our stride a little bit. One of our coaches have always talked about it kind of takes 2 weeks for things to set in. So I thought the bye week was really good, and we've been building since then. So hopefully we can start making a little bit more noise as the season comes to a close this year.
well, JT and them have a big game this week at John Paul. Well, it's not at John Paul II, but that's where he coaches at John Paul II High School in Plano. They're actually headed out to Louisiana to play
St.
St. Frederick's. It's basically Monroe, Louisiana. So that's the first for our school too, heading out to Louisiana to play some football out there. We hadn't done that at all. I don't know that we've ever actually left the state. Period. So looking forward to that. And I'm going to be making that drive down. I will not be on the bus with JT or in the van or
I'm gonna be on the bus.
Whatever they're
going
to
be.
be.
Bus.
I will not be in there. I'm taking my own truck so I can get around and do what I need to do while I'm down in Monroe. Okay, so JT, I'm kind of excited about this. Our guest that we have coming on today. Now, she learned the title or earned the title of Teakster a long, long time ago. She has always supported Consuela and I. Just interaction on social media, uh, Twitter primarily, and you just meet. You know when you're meeting genuine people, right? And you could tell by her handle. It's actually Southern Lady First. That's one ST or one ST Southern one ST. Um, and it's such a small world that even when we went to the A-Day game, we ran into this young lady, just bumped into him. ended up sitting with them and having a good time. So let's go ahead and bring in Kelly Withersby to the show. Yeah. So Kelly is, a big Bama fan. I like what she has uh, in her bio. This part right here. She says she's a bit fancy, a bit fancy, and her husband Matt says the same thing as well. Her husband went to the University of Alabama, plays for sports there too. He's an athlete. It does some good things. So I'm glad that you're with us. So how you doing, Kelly? Thank you for coming on and taking a last minute invite to come join us.
You have looking forward to talking some shop.
Yeah, yeah, staying up late. She says she stays up late, but all of her posts have something to do with coffee and all that. So I know she's up late anyway, because there's no way you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and then just you know. Anyway, so we do appreciate it here. We want to be
Yeah,
able to pick your brain.
this takes a lot in the morning.
Oh no, no. So, but thank you again for taking coming and hanging out with us with a little bit. So we're going to talk some Bama football, some Arkansas. Get some of your takes while we're talking about this. I believe Kelly's going to hang out with us too. Again, we're going to have some talk time at the end where we talk about a couple plays that we've already selected to do. So make sure you are stay with us for that part as well. So I want to pose this first question to you guys about this because I was at the game, right? I was the grand marshal. That was a whole lot of fun, man. It was it was absolutely amazing. I've never been in a parade where I was actually in the car waving and doing all that kind of stuff like that um, as the lead car. So it was kind of fun. It was packed though, and I was very tired because by Friday I had a couple events, did the pep rally, got to see Saban and the players and all that, and we didn't even get to our hotel room probably till like 11 p.m. or something like that night. And then I had to be at the parade at 5:45 a.m. dressed and ready and, and ready to go. So it was kind of a battle for me. So watching the game was a little bit different because I still was a little bit tired. And what I want to know what you got, how you feel about what you guys think about this because it looked like it was going to be a blowout for a minute. We kind of took it out like and then all of a sudden another tight game. We win it 24-21. So, what do you guys think? Why do we keep having these close games? What would you guys put that on? Is it offense, defense, coaches? Let me start with Kelly. We'll let her get the question first. What do you think is attributing to the close games?
Honestly, I think it's focus and execution
Hmm.
and some missed assignments. But I think it goes back to like Coach always says, and that's just focusing on your task at hand, um, not getting wrapped up in whatever the last play was, and just play the next play and just executing. I think that's the biggest glaring issue. I mean, there's always it's rare that you have a perfect season with perfect games. But I know this is a really young and they're still growing and maturing. So I think that that's the biggest thing. And as you guys know, there's an enormous difference in just the speed of the game, and then also the playbook, especially that Alabama has going from high school into D1 football. So I think it's just a lack of focus and execution and just playing the
Things.
Um, I think a little bit of it is coaching. Um, I think we're used to high level coaching at all positions. I think that we don't have that right now. Um, and I do also, and I agree, execution is one of it, one part of it. I think that's mainly on the offense. I think that is, unfortunately, I think it starts with our quarterback um, because he's the ball runs through him, right? So um, there's blame to go all around. If receivers are not getting open, or linemen missing blocks and things like that. But the the offense goes as Jalen Milroe goes. That's just how it is this year, and we've been so spoiled to have it with Tua, Mac Jones, Bryce, Jalen, Hurts. Um, that you kind of just it's not necessarily that this is a bad offense. This is probably just a average offense at best, but that's not what we've been accustomed to in Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
This is what the rest of the country feels
That's all week to week.
every year, right? So, um, yeah, I mean,
Well,
I really think that's kind of where it's at.
I think you guys are on it. I look at it. I would add to that, to both of what you guys said, is I think our speed, and it may be coming because of the way people are recruiting and transferring, that the playing field is leveling out a little bit because of the way the portal is working and the money is working.
Mhm.
And so I think we're not as fast at our offensive skill positions as we've been in the past either. So when we're talking about wide receivers aren't necessarily getting open or having those long runs by a running back or something, I think we're just not as we don't have the Tyreek Hill, them kind of guys that you go, oh, good Lord, who's going to cover, Devontae Smith and Waddle. And them dudes are just, they were freaky fast. And we hadn't shown any of that. So that's why I
Mhm.
think that kind of limits us to what we can do. What happened? Sorry, yelling here. Texas just hit a home run, I guess. They're down 5-2. The Rangers talking
Yikes.
about. Okay. So yeah, it just I'm glad we're winning though, right? 6-1. I mean, well, we can't complain. It just seems so weird to us as fans, like as you guys have said, we're kind of spoiled. But being 6-1, aren't we just supposed to be happy and just going, hey, we still in it. We got a chance to win the West, right, Kelly?
Yes, there, all of the goals are still there. I think we are spoiled as fans. We have had the luxury of one of the greatest coaches to have coached college football, but he also taught us the value of expecting excellence and wanting to be uh, wanting to be the beast, wanting to be at the top of that mountain and wanting to be there all of the time and having that as the goal. So I believe a lot of Coach Saban's attitude and what he expects of his players has rubbed off on us fans because we want to win all the time. Period. We want natties. We don't want to just win against that other school across the state. We don't want to have just one major win a season. We want national championships. Period. And so
If say
I think that I don't think that's a bad thing, and I don't ever get tired of winning, and I don't like close games. I'd rather just blow everybody out and be done with it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't see the problem with that.
So if Saban was to not be the coach today, for whatever reason, right? Who in the hell would take this job? Can you really follow behind Nick Saban, whether he retires now or 5 years from now? Is that you automatically set up, or is there another young one out there somewhere, or maybe an old one? You know,
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna
There
be.
might,
I don't think he's gonna be young. Whoever it is, I don't think they're gonna go young. They're gonna have to go experienced. I think. Shoot, I don't know. The only name that comes to mind right now is probably Dan Lanning. Assuming projecting how well he may be doing with Oregon years from now. I'm not saying right now,
right?
but he coached for Saban. He was the defensive coordinator for Kirby Smart. That kind of just seems like a
Good tree.
yes if you're gonna try to stay within it. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know. You get one of two mindsets, right? You get the yeah, I can step into this. This is a good place. You can win here. You got all the resources. You know, Coach Saban's probably set it up to where I can kind of take over and ease into it. And then you got other guys that's like, ain't no way. You just no matter if I'm not Saban, it ain't. I'm always gonna be looked at as just the next guy that came
The
in.
guy
And
after him.
yeah, you only win one national championship in your first 6 years, and they're like, yo, what is this?
Do we even know who the coach was after Bear Bryant? Next 2 or 3 coaches.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
We know who they
Who was
were.
the coach? Because those poor guys, you really feel bad for them.
Hey, that's a good point, Brian. The close games, but you know, I don't know. I'm happy as a fan that we're still winning. If we end up winning the championship, SEC championship, I still think it'll be hard for them to kind of keep us out. Just depending on how many teams have no losses. But okay, quick plug for the Landon Street uh, cheese sticks.
No,
I got
jeez.
fussed at last time because I didn't. Some of the people like, I can't believe you didn't talk about the cheese sticks. I came up here just for those or whatever. So I'm back at it. I'm not eating the BLT or the or the fried pickles or the wings. I'm on the cheese sticks today. Okay, so can we talk about Miro just for a little bit? Now I just want to. Now we've kind of seen him, right? You got 7 games under your belt, and uh, we've seen good, bad. We've seen him throwing the ball uh, a lot, right? And we saw him running the ball early a lot. Now we're seeing mixture. So, do you guys feel like we've seen the complete game? I'll go to JT first. Do you think we've seen Milrose's complete game yet? Where you said that's him, and
Yes.
if we haven't, then when? Okay,
No, I
so
think we have. I think you've seen. I think in hindsight, hindsight is 2020 or 50-50, as Cam Newton would say. Um, I think the Texas game was who who he was, who he is. Now I did see a stat today. He's 61% passing on throws over 20 yards, as in ball travels over 20 yards, not counting yards at the catch. Um, and he's got some ridiculous number of touchdowns. I can't remember whether it was 4 or 9, but it was touchdowns, no interceptions when the ball goes over 20 yards in the air. But if it's less than 20 yards, he's 65%, but he's thrown 4 picks. So I guess the deep ball that's his kind of bread and butter. I mean, completing 61% downfield is kind of like Steph Curry shooting from half
pretty
court.
good,
Yeah, it's
eh?
like
Yeah,
that's not supposed to be how this works at all. Um, you're kind of encroaching on territory of like, hey, if he's going to throw the ball deep, it's never a bad throw. That's just what it may seem ill advised, but it's not ill advised if it's Jalen Milroe. But there are some super questionable ones that he throws, as we've talked about, intermediate and short. And you're just kind of like, yo, where? He threw one in the end zone. Was it against A&M? In the corner of the end zone, he was double covered. It was a corner route, and he just kind of just. I was like, I don't. What did you see? I don't even understand what even prompted you to throw the ball. So I think for sure we have seen who he is. I think we can refine a little bit of it, but we talked about how, and maybe he is getting a little bit better because I saw him throw the ball away this game.
you did. Couldn't believe it, huh?
It might have
Like,
only
what?
been twice. One to seal the game, and the other one like actually just throwing the ball away.
It was more than what he normally does.
Yes. So there is always room for improvement. I'm not saying that he's reached his ceiling, but I think as far as this year goes, he's dangerously close already.
Okay, so Kelly, uh, complete game or no?
Hmm. That's a tough one for me because and maybe it's just because I want to believe in him because we've finally chosen him as our guy, and he's he's our guy, and the team seems to really be rallying around him, and that which is the good thing. Obviously, if you have the locker room, that's that's one of Nick's biggest thing is making sure you have the locker room. The one thing that I would really like to see him, and this is not so much on an X's and O's thing, it's more of one of those intangibles. And I've seen glimpses of it, but I would really like to see him just be the alpha dog, take that team and lead them, because you can be an average or an okay or not the best quarterback on the planet, but if you have that intangible and you lead that team, they will do the unthinkable for you. And next thing you know, we've got, we're in the national championship. Take the 15 team, take the take even um, uh, AJ McCarron, even when Greg McElroy was our quarterback. I mean, I like Greg. Nobody was saying Corey to Tagovailoa, but he and Jake Cook are both gritty SOBs. Way they had no problem being those alpha dogs, and really, I think catapulted the energy of the team, just really causing them inspiration to want to play above who they were, and it given their talent. I think we got plenty of talent. I just would really love somebody be that alpha dog and take that lead. And I would really love to see Jalen do that. Like I said, I've seen him a couple of times get fired up on the sidelines, and I've seen this is another direction. I've seen but it would be really great if that was our quarterback. And I think that this team would really mesh together and become more than the sum of their parts at the moment.
All right, there's a couple more topics I want to get to before we actually go into the film study. Be quick. We got about 5 minutes before we need to get to the film, right? And a lot of it, I think I've spent more time watching the offensive line. And defensive guys, I'm not always watching the O-line. But we're unanimous, and we got to look at it, and we got to try to figure out what's going on and try to figure out what Tommy Reese is doing. So I'm going to ask you guys this, and maybe talk about it some as much as you guys can about it. I want you guys to grade the offensive line thus far. A, B, C, D, or F. You guys think they're played. We can break it up in categories if we want. Give a grade pass protection versus the running game. I'm going to let JT go first. He and I was going to ask this question, so.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. We're having a little bit of audio issues. So I think I heard your question. A, B, C, D, or F on the passing game. Is that what you asked?
No. I want you to grade the offensive line.
Oh, offensive line.
So you can pick pass protection or running game or both. So you can just put them all together and say, like, total play, I think this is what I'm at.
Okay. Passing game.
Hold on. Did you see Justin talking about you on the show? I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah. The audio is like super choppy right now. So I'm trying to refresh without actually making you guys leave and come back. But you might need to leave and come back.
Do you want me?
If you both can hit the refresh button in your browser,